Hey there, folks, and welcome to another wonderful episode, and a very happy Noirvember to all of you. Yes, it's that time of year again where we all stop to appreciate that long-standing and highly revered genre that is film noir. And to celebrate this very festive time of year, we're going to be diving into what many people consider to be the quintessential noir film. It's the movie that not only defined the genre, but also helped to make Humphrey Bogart a household name. And of course, I'm talking about that 1941 classic, The Maltese Falcon.
Well, if you get a good break, you'll be out at Tehachapi in 20 years, and you can come back to me then. I hope they don't hang you, Precious, for that sweet neck.
Based on the novel by Dashiell Hammett, The Maltese Falcon tells the story of gruff private investigator Sam Spade, who's hired to track down a very valuable artifact. And it co-stars Mary Astor and Peter Lorre, and it was directed by legendary director John Huston, and his directorial debut no less. So needless to say, he started his career on the right foot. So before we begin, make sure you hit that like, hit the subscribe, and let's crack the case of the Maltese Falcon. So the movie begins with a little origin story. And then we go to San Francisco, where private detective Sam Spade is trying to roll a J when he's rudely interrupted.
There's a girl wants to see you. Her name's Wonderly. You'll want to see her anyway. She's a knockout.
Sure in, Effie, darling.
And then we meet this dame from New York who goes by the name Miss Wonderly.
I inquired at the hotel for the name of a reliable private detective. They mentioned yours.
And she's trying to track down her sister, who's apparently shacking up somewhere in town with her boyfriend named Thursby.
Floyd Thursby. I don't know where she met him.
And then Sam's partner Miles shows up, and Sam brings him up to speed.
Miss Wonderly's sister ran away from New York with a fellow named Floyd Thursby. They're here in San Francisco. Miss Wonderly wants us to find the sister, get her away from him, and back home. Right?
Yes.
And so Sam and Miles eagerly take the job.
All right, Miss Wonderly. We'll have a man there.
I'll look after it myself.
And I can't wait to see how Sam and Miles work together to crack this case. Oh, never mind then. So Sam goes to identify Miles's body, and he talks to the detective for a bit.
Let's see, shot up here, huh? Standing like you are with his back to the fence. The man who shot him stood here. Who found him?
Man on the beat. You want to go down and have a look at him before we take him away?
No, you've seen everything I could.
Was he working, Sam?
Yeah, he was tailing a guy named Thursby.
What for?
You want to find out where he lived. Don't crowd me, Tom.
And back at his place, Sam gets a visit from the detective and his partner.
Did you break the news to Miles' wife, Sam?
Uh-huh.
How'd she take it?
I don't know anything about women.
And they tell Sam that the Thursby fella who possibly shot Miles was also found shot to death.
What's your boyfriend getting at, Tom?
Just this. Thursby was shot down in front of his hotel about a half an hour after you left Bush Street.
And Sam's a possible suspect.
I've never seen Thursby, dead or alive.
Well, you know me, Spade. If you did it or if you didn't, you'll get a square deal from me and most of the breaks. Don't know as I blame you much, man that killed your partner.
And so Sam goes to see Miss Wonderly, and he soon calls her out on all of her bullshit.
Oh, that. Well, we didn't exactly believe your story, Miss... what is your name, Wonderly or LeBlanc?
Including the fact that she has no sister, and that her real name is actually Bridget O'Shaughnessy. And why she felt the need to lie about that, I have no friggin' clue.
We didn't exactly believe your story, Miss O'Shaughnessy. We believed your $200. Well, you warned us that Thursby was dangerous. Of course, you lied to us about your sister and all that, but that didn't count. We didn't believe you.
And so she spills the beans and tells Sam that some people are after her, but she won't say why.
I'll have to take my chances.
And so Sam agrees to do some digging, and soon he's visited by a lovely gentleman named Joel Cairo.
You sit down, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you, sir.
And Cairo has a particular interest in the O'Shaughnessy case, as well as a certain missing artifact that he believes was in Thursby's possession.
See, Mr. Spade, I'm trying to recover ornament that, shall we say, has been mislaid. The ornament is a statuette. Black figure of a bird.
And then this Cairo dude tries getting cute.
I intend to search your offices, Mr. Spade.
But Bogey doesn't have time for that shit. And when he wakes up, Cairo offers Sam $5,000 to track down the bird statue.
I am prepared to pay $5,000 for the figure's return. You have it?
No.
Later on, Sam gets tailed by some obvious bozo. But he manages to lose him pretty easily. Then he goes back to O'Shaughnessy's.
Mr. Spade, did you bring me any news?
And he tells her about his little run-in with Cairo.
By the way, I saw Joel Cairo tonight.
Do you know him?
Only slightly.
And he's trying to figure out whose side to take.
He offered me $5,000 for the black bird.
It's more than I can ever offer you if I have to bid for your loyalty.
I mean, this chick has been blowing smoke the whole movie, but then again, Joel Cairo isn't nearly as good a kisser. And so the two go to see Cairo, and he offers O'Shaughnessy $5,000 for the statue that he believes was in Thursby's possession.
You're ready to pay $5,000 if we turn over the Falcon to you.
I shall be able to have the money for you at, say, 10:30 in the morning.
But it's not like O'Shaughnessy exactly has it on her.
But I haven't got the Falcon. I'll have it in another week at the most, though.
And then they are interrupted by Sam's detective buddies, who are soon acquainted with O'Shaughnessy and Cairo.
Did you do that?
I had to. I was alone in here with him. He tried to attack me.
It isn't true. I came up here in good faith, and then both of them attacked me. So I called for help because I didn't want you to leave me and be murdered.
Well, boys and girls, we put it over nicely.
Go on, get your hats.
Oh, don't you know when you're being kidded? When I heard the buzzer, I said to Mr. Shaughnessy and Cairo here, I said, there's the police again. They're getting to be a nuisance. When you hear them going, one of you scream, and then we'll see how far along we can string them until they tumble.
Afterwards, O'Shaughnessy keeps feeding Sam some more malarkey about the statue.
Say, what's this bird, this falcon that everybody's all steamed up about? What makes it so important?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me. They offered me £500 if I'd help them get it away from the man who had it.
And then Sam has a little chat with the fellow that's been tailing him.
You're gonna have to talk to me before you're through, Sonny. Some of you will. And you can tell the fat man I said so.
I told you to shove off. Shove off.
People lose teeth talking like that. If you want to hang around, you'll be polite.
Back at the office, O'Shaughnessy tells Sam that somebody ransacked her place.
Darling, somebody's been in my apartment. It's all upside down, every which way. I changed as fast as I could and came right over here.
And Sam has an idea of who it could be.
Might have been Cairo. He wasn't at the hotel last night. He told me he'd been standing up under a police grilling. I wonder.
But then again, this dame could be full of shit. I mean, she has been blowing smoke the whole movie, so... But the secretary seems to trust her, so Sam indulges O'Shaughnessy, and he sets her up with a place to hide out.
Effie here's offered to put you up for a few days.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Sam then gets a phone call, and he's soon off to meet a man named Gutman.
Ah, Mr. Spade.
And he definitely lives up to that name.
How do you do, Mr. Gutman?
And then they spend a lot of time talking about talking.
Now, sir, we'll talk if you like. I tell you right out, I'm a man who likes talking to a man who likes to talk.
But Sam would rather make a deal on the statue, but negotiations kind of fall through.
I don't think we can do business along those lines.
I'll think again and think fast. I told that gunsel of yours you'd have to talk to me before you're through. I'm telling you now, you'll talk to me today or you are through. What are you wasting my time for? I can get along without you.
And after some reconsideration, Sam and Gutman come to an agreement.
Let's talk about the black bird.
All right, sir.
So Gutman tells Sam the history of the Maltese Falcon.
What do you know, sir, about the order of the Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, later known as the Knights of Rhodes and other things?
Crusaders or something, weren't they?
Very good. Sit down. In 1539, these crusading knights persuaded Emperor Charles V to give them the island of Malta. He made but one condition, that they pay him each year the tribute of a falcon, in acknowledgement that Malta was still under Spain. The knights were profoundly grateful to the Emperor Charles. They hit upon the happy thought of sending him for his first year's tribute Not an insignificant live bird, but a glorious golden falcon, crusted from head to foot with the finest jewels in their covers. They sent this foot-high jewel bird to Charles, who was then in Spain. They sent it in a galley, commanded by a member of the order. It never reached Spain.
And then we find out that that sly old Gutman slipped Sam a Mickey. And then he and his boys, including Mr. Cairo, set out to find the Falcon. Sam wakes up sometime later, and as he returns to his office, some poor bastard stops by to drop off a package before dropping dead. And so Sam opens the package, and wouldn't you know it, it's the Falcon.
We've got it, Angel. We've got it.
Hurt him.
But an urgent call from O'Shaughnessy takes Sam and the Falcon to the bus station, where he deposits the bird and mails out the receipt to some random address. And then he catches a cab to track down O'Shaughnessy.
Keep your motor running.
And eventually the two reunite, but are soon confronted by Gutman and his cronies.
Let's come in and sit down and be comfortable.
So Sam tries to make another deal, one that requires throwing Gutman's lackey under the bus for all the murders and whatnot.
We've got to have a fall guy. The police have got to have a victim, somebody they can pin those 3 murders on. He actually did shoot Thursby and Jacoby, didn't he? Anyways, made to order for the part. Look at him. Let's give him to them.
But Gutman's lackey really doesn't seem too keen on that idea.
I take another writing from you I'm gonna take. Get up and shoot it out.
Maybe you better tell him that shooting me before you get your hands on the Falcon's gonna be bad for business.
But apparently he really doesn't have a say in the matter, so he's up Schitt's Creek.
Well,
There's our fall guy. Now, either you'll say yes right now, or I'll turn the Falcon and the whole lot of you in. Well?
you can have him.
That's the way she goes.
That's the way she goes?
That's right. That's the way she goes. That's what I said.
And then Gutman gives Sam a bit of advice about the broad.
I dare say you're going to give her some money, but if you don't give her as much as she thinks she ought to have, my word of advice is, be careful.
And after finally coming to an agreement, Sam calls up his secretary and has her deliver the package from the bus station.
Hello, Precious. I'm sorry to get you up so early. Now, listen carefully. Here's the plot. In the Holland box at the post office is an envelope with my scrawl. Thanks, lady. Sorry to spoil your day of rest.
Not the first one you've spoiled. Anything else?
No, no thanks.
Bye-bye then.
We'll make sure.
But after all of that bullshit, it turns out that they've all been hornswoggled.
Fake. It's a phony. It's lead.
It's a fake. No wonder we had such an easy time stealing it. You imbecile, you bloated idiot.
But apparently Gutman isn't too broken up about it.
Yes, it's the Russian's hand, there's no doubt about it. Well, so what do you suggest? We stand here and shed tears and call each other names? Or shall we go to Istanbul?
And so he and Mr. Cairo bid adieu to Sam, and then they hightail it to Istanbul to continue their search for the Falcon.
I leave the rare avis on the table there, as a little memento.
Hello, Sergeant Polehouse there? Yeah, put him on. This is Sam Spade.
And then Sam sends the cops after Gutman and his boys while he puts the squeeze on O'Shaughnessy.
When you first came to my office, why did you want Thursby shadowed?
I told you, Sam, I thought he was betraying me, and I wanted to find out.
That's a lie. You had Thursby hooked and you knew it and you wanted to get rid of him. You told Thursby he was being followed.
Yes, but please believe me, Sam. I wouldn't have told him if I thought Floyd would kill him.
If you thought he wouldn't kill Miles, you were right, Angel. Miles hadn't many brains, but he'd had too many years' experience as a detective to be caught like that by a man he was shadowing up a blind alley with his gun in his hip and his overcoat buttoned. But he'd have gone up there with you, Angel. He was just dumb enough for that. You thought Thursby would tackle Miles and one or the other of them would go down. If Thursby was killed, you were rid of him. If it was Miles, you see that Thursby was caught and set up for it. Isn't that right? And when you found that Thursby wasn't going to tackle him, you borrowed his gun and did it yourself, right? And when you heard Thursby was shot, you knew Gutman was in town. And you knew you needed another protector, somebody to fill Thursby's boots. So you came back to me.
Yes.
And so Sam quickly gives her up like a bad habit.
You're not.
Yes, Angel, I'm going to send you over. The chances are you'll get off with life. That means if you're a good girl, you'll be out in 20 years. I'll be waiting for you.
And hands the dame over to the Flatfoots.
Here's another one for you. She killed Miles.
And then we find out what was really in the Falcon all this time.
What is it?
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Huh?
And that was The Maltese Falcon, a story of lies, murder, greed, and betrayal. And after 80 years, it still holds up pretty well and is considered by many to be the first major true noir film. So until next time, folks, this is me to you, wishing you all the best, and reminding you out there to always keep it real. Bye-bye now.